Hi everyone, this is Privet Palm Beach Presents, bringing you everything Palm Beach. We are jumping into our first collaboration with Perfectly Palm Beach, hosted by Janie Chase. Please enjoy and subscribe to our Privet Palm Beach Presents Apple or Spotify channel to follow along.
Welcome to Privet Palm Beach Presents and Perfectly Palm Beach Podcast. I am your host, Janie Chase, and I am also the design editor at Quest Magazine. So while you're listening to this on all the different platforms that we are aligned with, make sure you hit the like button and the subscription button. Today, guys, I have my very good friend who is sitting across from me, who I love, who I've known for many years, Sal Piazzolla, who is one of the owners of Hampton Sun. And it is no lie, and as I'm looking at him deep in his eyes, he knows this is the only suntan lotion I use, and I love it so much. Welcome to the podcast, Sal.
Thank you so much, Janie. Wow, I love the introduction.
Well, every time I see you, I always say to you, thank God for you. This is the greatest suntan lotion on the market.
Thank you so much, Janie.
It smells wonderful. It dries without being sticky. There's no white glossy after feel or look. Yeah. So, tell our listeners, how did you do it? How did you do this?
Janie, gosh, I'm doing this 18 years now. And back 2005, I came up with the idea. And, back then, sunscreen, there was nothing glamorous about it. Everything was very generic, prescriptive, either reeked of alcohol, the textures, nothing great about it.
Colored your skin, or it was greasy. You felt,
greasy, oily. It just wasn't pleasant. And
correct.
As the years gone on, trends have changed.
But you're an engineer by trade, Sal. So
I am.
Start from that for people so that they kind of understand, because it's not easy to do what you did.
Yeah, I went to school for engineering, and that was my background. But my, being out in the Hamptons and seeing, living at the beach.
That's where you and your husband live, Grant.
That's where we live.
Yeah, let's give him a little plug, that handsome man.
And we just saw a big gap in the marketplace for luxury sunscreen. And it was just an idea sitting around the pool. And that's when it hit us. And we said, you know what? Why not? Why not create something that's super fabulous, that feels good, that smells good, but more importantly is the effectiveness, because we know sunscreen is very important to make sure you have a quality sunscreen that works.
Exactly. Yeah. So how did it happen? How did you create the formula? You're an engineer, so but you're not a scientist. So how did you get to that right formula?
Well, I just have that
warp-brained,
Janie.
This
so everything happens fast with me, So, I came up with a
warp
name.
Speed brain. A warp speed. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying you have a warped brain. I was like, yeah, I know that about you.
And I went on LegalZoom.com to see if the name was available. I came up with a name called Hampton Sun, and it was available, and I trademarked it right then and there. And then that's when I started releasing the idea out to friends, like Michael Claus. He was the first person that we released the idea out to.
Okay.
And when we met Michael, he came over the apartment and his hands were flying in the air saying, this is fabulous. This is fabulous.
That's a major endorsement.
And from
you
there.
put samples together, in other words.
Yeah.
So you found a factory, you found a lab, or...
Found a lab. We went to a chemist who's world renowned. She participates in the book on sunscreens and regulations for the FDA. She was top brass out there in the industry. And we were very fortunate to be introduced to her and work with her. And from there, it just evolved. And we started getting lab samples. And, we went back to the drawing board saying, no, it has to be lighter. It has to have more of a slip, more effectiveness, hydrating. How
long did that take, Sal?
It took about a good solid year to come up with the formulas that we were happy with.
Right. Yeah. It's experimenting, trial and error. Right.
Trial and error. Absolutely. We wanted to be known as the best of the best out there. We didn't look at it like, oh, how much is this going to cost? We were more focused on giving us the best product out there available that we can bring to the consumer. So they would have this wonderful experience, hydrating the skin, because the importance of wearing sunscreen daily is, I can't say it enough. It is so critical to make sure that you wear an SPF daily, whether you're playing golf, whether you're at the beach, or whether you're just strolling through a park. I mean, you need sunscreen.
And no matter where you live, really.
No matter where you live.
Right, exactly. I mean, I wear that sunscreen constantly, and it's so light and it's so effective. And I'm fair, but because I'm blonde, but I never burn with it.
Well, that's interesting you say that, Janie, because we tested our formulas. The average consumer doesn't see the testing that goes into sunscreen, right? We'll pick up the sunscreen, you'll read the back of the label, but it doesn't tell you how it's formulated and all the testing that goes behind it. So it costs a lot of money to test, right? So there's HRIPT testing, skin testing, stability testing, and you will never burn with our product because of the investment that we put into the testing. So you'll never get a rash, you'll never burn with our product. So to your point,
it's so interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's really, when I speak about, the most effective sunscreen out there, we are the only sunscreen that will give you the utmost protection and the utmost wonderful experience.
Yeah, no, I mean, I am in 100% agreement on that.
Yeah.
My entrepreneurial hat, because I mean, I share this with you, and for somebody that loves watching Shark Tank, and I'm fascinated by that whole world and different chapters people have in their lives, right?
Right.
To take to get the formula right, to get the packaging right, finding all of those pieces. It takes time. It's also an expense, personal expense, right? So at what point did you know in the process, like, we've got a winner here? Like, we're going to go forward with that.
Listen, you want to know it all, Janie. I know you do. So
yeah, I mean, how did you, I mean, I know you went to hotels and stuff.
It's a special person, and it takes a lot. It's a huge commitment and sacrifice.
It is.
And when I tell you, we put our heart and soul into this, and
and pocketbook, let's face it, it costs money to get.
I had to refinance my home to pull money out. That's what I did, but I believed in what I was doing, and I knew that I had something special. So entrepreneurs, are you're either all in or you're not.
Right.
There's no like explaining to somebody like, oh, you need to do this and need to do that. It's very individual, and it's if you believe in your product, these are the things you do.
So, but
2 years in development.
So 2 years in
Well,
development.
a year for the formulas, and then to put the whole thing together with packaging, the creative, the logo, the design.
The cream, the spray, all the different products. How many products did you launch initially?
We launched initially 9 SKUs.
Wow.
9 SKUs.
That's a lot.
A lot.
Yes.
Big investment.
Wait, I didn't even know that because I used the spray.
Yes.
So what else and I know that you did have a fragrance.
Yes. Well, people were obsessed with our fragrance.
Oh my
And
gosh.
speaking of
Lily of the
Privet
Valley.
Palm Beach,
Yeah.
Privet Bloom is my signature scent.
I love it.
And a lot of people, they're fascinated with the scent because it's very distinct. It's fresh. It's clean.
Oh, it's so fresh. It's beautiful. I still have it. I still have it. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Well, we were written up in W Magazine as one of the top 10 fragrances of all time, next to Chanel. And
seriously,
that was
that's a big endorsement. Well, I know you were voted in Vogue as one of the best, suntan lotions.
Yes.
Yeah, which is that's a big endorsement from those people.
Yeah, it was. We made Oprah's list, the New York Times. We've gotten a lot of recognition on our scent.
Incredible.
The scent comes from, there's a privacy hedge in the Hamptons, and it's a thick green hedge that surround the estates out there.
I know, and it smells great.
Yeah, I'm sure you're familiar with it.
I am.
It blossoms once a year, late June, early July. This little white flower.
White flower. I know.
And
it's
that's
true.
what we captured, Janie. That little white flower.
Delicious.
Yeah.
But launching with 9 SKUs is sort of no joke. So I know when I first met you, Sal, you were going to all the hotels. So that was kind of your equation initially, right? Your business equation, right?
Correct. My strategy was, how do I capture a broad audience, international, on a very small budget? So I went.
Take notes,
Oh,
folks.
take notes.
Yeah.
Listen, again, entrepreneurs, we don't have the funding, right?
That's
so if
right.
you're doing this
That's
yourself
right.
and you're funding, you got to be smart with those dollars. So, we took it, to the Sun States and where can we capture a year-round business? So, hotels, resorts. But
how did you get in to see those people? You just walked in with the product? Because I know people that are listening that have like a business interest are thinking like, how did he do that?
Listen,
how did you get to see Mary Lou at the Four Seasons in Maui?
It's not easy, but listen, I
banged on a lot
I have
of
the gift of gab, I think, Janie, and I just knocked on those doors and I had something very special that they wanted.
Right.
So they wouldn't open the door for me if they felt it wasn't the right product for their brand.
Right.
So, it was a combination, being aggressive and persistence on opening that door, but you have to have
persistence is the key word there.
Yeah.
That is for sure.
Yeah.
I'm curious about a couple of different things. There's so many categories in quote unquote skincare, right?
Yeah.
So were any of those initial products anti-aging? Were any of those initial products, did you go over 50 plus, in terms of the sun protection? I know there's a controversy that, some people say, oh, look, there's no difference between 30 and 50.
Yes.
I don't know. But there's kids there, but the anti-aging thing and the wellness thing, those are huge categories. So how did you know which one to pick?
Huge. And that's a great question. I mean, listen, trends are always changing, and the FDA is always changing their monograph in sunscreen world.
Oh, wait, you had to go through the FDA too.
Yeah.
Oh, that takes a long time, right? I'm sorry, I didn't even ask.
Yeah,
that.
a lot of testing, a lot of, it's a over-the-counter drug considered. So, there's, it's all regulatory, and, you have to find facilities that, are licensed to do these type of products. So, it's not so cut and dry. It's very complicated. It's very costly. There are a lot of things that are involved. But to answer your question, anti-aging is very important. So all the ingredients that we use,
the only thing I care about, baby,
are anti-aging. Listen, where you have to think this way. So natural ingredients. Hyaluronic acid. These are all ingredients that are available. We were always ahead of the curve and added these into our Hampton Sun. And now, that's our mission. Whatever research is available, we research to make sure we are the first to bring something great to market, so the consumer is getting all that anti-aging into their skin and feels good. It doesn't feel like that heavy cast.
It really doesn't. I mean, I can't say this enough, folks, if you're listening.
Yeah.
It has a silky texture. It dries beautifully. And I hate anything sticky.
Oh, geez, Janie, if you saw me in the lab pushing the chemist, like, no, redo this. I want it,
right.
it has to be lighter. It has to feel smoother. And they would tell me like, oh, this is the best we can do. Oh, no. That's not who I am. I need to push and make sure that we can push and raise that bar.
Right. And you did. Wow, you really did, Sal.
Thank you.
Yeah, you really did. So just tell everybody what categories you do have.
So we have skincare collection. We have a bronzing collection with self-tanners.
Yeah.
And our self-tanners have won awards. We just launched a new bronze-on product.
I saw that beautiful packaging.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Gold. It's
really
very pretty.
Very light. Dries in a flash. It's long lasting. The color is for all skin types. It's just fabulous.
Our mutual friend Tom loves all of those products.
Yeah.
I mean, he was just down here and I think he used the bronzer.
Yeah, Tom Salmon. He's great.
He's awesome. He's fabulous. Awesome. If you don't follow Tom, let's give him a plug.
We're actually doing an event at the Colony Hotel this Friday and Saturday. We're doing a collaboration with Halo. Tim Quinn is the founder of Halo.
Love Halo too.
Skincare. I use it. It's fabulous.
It is fabulous. We got to get him on here too.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yes, he's got a wonderful brand. Halo Beauty is just spectacular. And we're working with Madison and Apothecary at the Colony,
which
this
is
Friday
awesome.
and Saturday.
Awesome. Okay, that's good for everybody to know.
Yeah.
So to get back to that entrepreneurial spirit, which I sort of love talking about. So you never. Did you have to do a money raise? Did you think about going on Shark Tank? I mean, how did you make all this?
Have I thought about it many a times?
Oh my gosh.
I watch that show too. And
Me
I
too.
always say,
I think about going on it too.
Yeah, listen. Yeah.
But you have to have a company. You can't just go on with a product. You got to go on with like a company. And you've got a company now.
Yes.
But in terms of all the funding along the way for our entrepreneurs that are listening.
For me and my partner, I'm very passionate about this, and I love what I do. I absolutely enjoy every aspect of the business. So to raise money, that was never really, we entertained it, but it was never really our number one goal because I loved what I love what I do. And I didn't want to change that aspect because, when you take on partners, things could change, right?
Yes.
So
you got to give the business away.
Yeah. And
portion of it. You got to give percentages out. Yeah.
And I was very fortunate that we were running this company very lean, very smart, very, the company was profitable. We're doing very well with the brand.
You didn't have to hire salespeople to get the product out there. You kind of did it all, Sal, didn't you? You and Grant.
In the beginning, I do have a team now, Janie. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I know your
one person.
I know you're styling now, buddy.
Yeah. Now I have a team of people.
Yeah.
But fast forward. To answer your question, we did recently partner with somebody, and Randy Gerber, the founder of Casamigos, George Clooney and Randy Gerber.
Well, those aren't names that we know. Could you tell us who they are? No, I'm kidding. That's serious.
So Randy and five of his
magical
buddies are now partners on Hampton Sun, and we're
woohoo!
Yeah, we're very excited.
That's awesome.
He
Good
is
for you.
An amazing partner.
I bet.
And he's
exciting.
Very exciting. We're going through a rebrand right now.
Okay.
All new packaging, new logo. We looked at every single formula. We made some tweaks. We even made some modifications, making it a little bit cleaner. And this is what you do when you're an owner of a brand. You do all the studies. You look at the trends, and you just make modifications along the way. So stay tuned for this new launch. We started releasing. Some products have come.
The bronzer's new, right?
The bronze
that's
is
the new packaging.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Very pretty.
Very pleased with the new packaging and the new logo. It's next level.
What else are you guys adding? Like, what's the next step, do you think?
Yeah, so we also launched an After Sun body lotion. That's new. That's brand new. It's Janie, I have to get this to you. You're gonna die.
Really?
It's so beautiful.
It smells yummy.
Smells yummy. Super hydrating.
Because I don't think. When you say After Sun product, I think, my mind goes to me walking into my mother's bathroom down here in Palm Beach and grabbing her. That had such a distinct smell that after it wasn't Bain de Soleil, it was After Tan.
Oh,
I remember that bottle, and it smelled so great. We loved it.
Yeah.
So I don't think anyone's really done that well since then.
Yeah,
actually.
well, scent is everything.
It is.
It's an emotional connection.
Yeah.
When you smell something, and we've captured that. So Privet Bloom is the scent. We have a perfume, but that Privet is infused in the majority of our products because we do have some face products that are moisturizers.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Free.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the scent it's really intoxicating.
Oh my gosh, love it.
Guys, you have to try this.
Okay, good. That's available on your website, right?
Hampton Sun. On our website, hamptonsun.com.
Okay, good. That's really great.
Yeah.
Is there any other advice that you can share with our listeners? You've been such a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah.
If you can give us 5 top tips. If there are them, if there are that many, I don't
Absolutely.
know.
Listen, there's a lot of noise out there, and you just have to stay true to your brand, stay extremely focused. These are difficult things to do at times because when
They
you're
are.
listening to the noise and
I
you
know.
have
Everybody has an
friends,
opinion.
everybody has an opinion. You should come out with this, and you
Right,
should do
do
this.
that. It should look like this.
Right, right,
Okay,
right.
right.
Keep it very tight, very lean, and grow and penetrate. What SKUs you have or what whatever your business is, and get the growth going before you start making those modifications and
Get those
changes.
people, get the audience familiar with your product because I have this teeny little product right now, and you think like, oh, everybody knows about it because everyone's talking about it. But the truth that there's always somebody new walking into that store who's never seen it before.
Yeah,
And you need to get your audience familiar with who you are
that's right.
before you keep adding to it. That's what you're saying, right? I'm
That's
clarifying
exactly
that.
what I'm
Yeah.
saying for
Okay.
sure.
And okay, sorry. I keep cutting you off.
No, no, no,
Yeah.
no, no. You're
No, I'm curious. How much was social media important to the success of your brand?
Well, Janie, now 2005, we didn't have social media. So, it was a different
Oh,
story.
oh, that's right. Right.
So it was very different.
That's
So it
so
was,
true, Sal.
back to
Yeah.
magazines and, everybody was so supportive. You was supportive, with
Yeah,
the
but that wasn't
magazine business.
2005. Boy, that was
No, but the community has been really supportive, really embraced, me, Hampton Sun, what
right.
we were doing.
But now social media plays a huge
Now
role.
social media is a huge role. Absolutely. Digital is, it's where it is.
It's everything.
It's everything.
It really is.
So
It's crazy.
yes, follow us on Hampton Sun, on Instagram.
Do you do? Oh, yes. Tell us all of your handles: Instagram,
Facebook, Twitter,
Twitter, X,
TikTok.
X.
Yeah, X.
X.
Yeah.
It's not called Twitter anymore. X.
Oh, X.
And
Okay.
are you on TikTok?
Yes.
Is
Yeah.
it? Oh,
my personal page is Sal Piazzolla. So,
Okay.
and my Instagram is Sal Piazzolla, also. So,
and you have a big following on TikTok?
me personally,
No. The brand.
Hampton Sun, yeah, somewhat.
Yeah.
We're pushing that out. We're pushing that out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't really. I was on TikTok.
Never big enough, right? Yeah. If
I
you have
was-
10,000, you want 20. If you have
It's
20,
really
you want
true.
50.
I know I know it's
Yeah.
but you need to keep growing.
Gotta
So you
keep
got to
it
keep trying all these different platforms.
daily.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I know. Well, I love your tips.
Oh,
Those are
thank you.
really good tips for entrepreneurs. It's really persevering, be true to yourself,
Yes.
believe in your product,
Yes.
don't grow it too quickly.
Right.
Don't listen to
Slow and
naysayers.
steady.
Slow and steady wins the
steady
race.
wins the race.
I completely agree
Yeah.
with you.
It's
I
funny.
really
My
do.
father would tell me that. I still hear him chirping in my ear. But,
Aw.
it was 100% correct. I mean, had I grown it too fast, too quick, I probably would have burnt out, probably cash flow, I would have sank, but because I did
So
it
interesting,
slow and
yeah.
steady my way and didn't
Mhm.
listen to all that noise out there, that's truly why we're successful,
I love that advice. I think that's
Yeah.
really important because our world moves so fast
Yeah.
and we want instant gratification and
We all
everything.
do.
We scroll. And finally, I say to myself, stop scrolling, Janie, pick up a book, turn it off. We all
Yes.
have to do that because once you turn it all off, you can kind of come back into the present and you can hear
Yes.
your heart. You can follow your heart then.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice for everybody, but particularly for entrepreneurs because, you can keep throwing good money after bad. And then, before you know it, you're kind of nowhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Janie, I can't tell you how many times people would say, but it's only, it's only $500. Well, listen, then next month there's going to be another something that I have to throw another 1,500 at. So
It's true.
it's difficult to say no, but you have to learn to say no to all these opportunities. It sounds attractive, sounds really
It's
exciting,
true.
but
I
you
know.
just, you don't want to disappoint anybody, so you want to participate because you feel like, well, it's only 500, but
Right.
it's all the other things that are going to come following that could hurt you. So you just
That's
have
really
to
good
be
advice.
disciplined.
It's very good advice.
Yeah.
Before I let you go, I need you to share with all of us
Yeah.
your HSN experience. So,
Oh,
at what point did you know that was the right thing to do and that you were ready for that? Because
yes.
that's a big step.
Yeah. So HSN and QVC
Oh, and
are,
QVC. Okay.
yeah, they
Mhm.
are phenomenal partners. And, I just celebrated 10 years, Janie,
Are
with
you
them.
kidding me?
10 years.
Wow, I didn't know
Yes.
that. I know they call
Yeah.
you Sell Out Sal.
Sell out Sal. Yep. We do phenomenal. We have an amazing product, the self tanner. And I go on that show with just the self tanner.
Oh,
And this
one
season,
product.
this season we're taking the bronze on. But it's phenomenal. People love our product. They love
Wow.
it. I let's see, I have a show coming up, two shows coming up. April 23rd, I think one
Wow.
at 11 o'clock in the morning and
Those are good
9
hours.
p.m. at night.
Okay, I
Yeah.
would take that.
So,
That's good.
yeah.
But how did you know you were ready for that? Really?
I again, my strategy was to not just be a department store brand or a resort brand. I wanted to kind of think about where can I capture on a small budget, different parts of the country,
Mhm.
different viewers, different audiences.
Mhm.
So we did the
Mhm.
HSN because, they have a beautiful reach. Resort made sense because that's where you're buying sunscreen at the beach, at the pool. And then, for a department store like Neiman Marcus, where can you go to replenish, right? So we went to a department store like Neiman Marcus, and
Mm.
they've been a fabulous department store
I
for
didn't
us.
even know you were at Neiman Marcus.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
Incredible.
With Neiman's probably about 15 years.
Wow, I
Yeah,
didn't know that. I always buy my products at
yeah,
the Breakers or you're at Fedco in Palm Beach, which is
yeah,
amazing. I
yeah.
mean, it's fabulous. So, I'm thrilled for your success.
Thank you so much.
I'm
Janie.
really
Thank
thrilled. It's a fantastic product,
you.
and it
That's so
just
kind. Thank you.
it really goes to show you that when you've got something that everybody wants and they kind of embrace it initially and then they really incorporate it into their lives, you got a winner, right?
Listen, who doesn't want a piece of the Hamptons, right? It's very, it's a very
That's true.
aspirational. And people love the Hamptons. We're from the Hamptons. But you know what?
Yeah, but people want something more than that also, Sal, because they
Yeah,
want stuff that's effective and that works
correct,
and that smells good,
correct,
really. I mean, so when it comes down to it, it's the credibility of the product
correct.
that really does matter.
Yeah,
Because, even if it was beautiful, even if you're from the Hamptons and you were who you were and you know who you know, if that was sticky, if that didn't work, it wouldn't be successful. So
1000% for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
No, absolutely. And like I said earlier, when you asked me about how did I open up the hotels, you have to have a good product. You just
no question.
people are very intelligent today. They're
They
very
are.
savvy. They
They
know
are.
quality. They
No
know
question.
ingredients.
No question. They want
So
what they want.
yeah, they're looking for something special that's going to
Definitely.
deliver and
Definitely.
give the consumer, that beautiful experience.
Exactly. Even if you're living in Des Moines, Iowa, or
Yeah,
wherever you're living, do you know what
yeah,
I mean? If you're not in a sunshine state.
right.
So I think that's really true.
Yeah, and one thing that Hampton Sun is, we have something for every sunbather. So whether you want something for your kids or your baby, or you want the gels and the oils for the people who love to tan, we still have people that love to tan. Or you want the higher SPFs because you're out in a golf course or you're playing
Correct.
tennis and you want to get that utmost UV advanced sun
That's
protection.
what I use.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's something in Hampton Sun for every sunbather.
I
So
love
if
that.
you're looking for a sun brand, you don't have to go anywhere else.
Right.
We have it
Something
all.
for everybody.
Yeah.
So, one final question. Do you think there will ever be a product that will completely protect everybody from the harmful rays of the sun completely? Like you can go out there and know that you're never going to get skin cancer.
Yeah. Oh gosh, that's a wild question, Janie. I don't know. That's pretty tricky.
Because
So
it's what everybody talks about
yeah,
down
I
here.
mean, yes, absolutely.
Everyone's
And
always running to their dermatologist. They've got this, they've got
yeah,
that, whatever.
my advice is, protect yourself, use sunscreen daily, and reapply. So I want,
Reapply.
it's very subjective because if you're playing tennis or sports and you're perspiring, a lot of sunscreen, you wipe it off. And
Right, or you're in the pool or you're in the ocean. Or,
right, you have to reapply.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of chatter about, mineral sunscreen versus UV advanced sunscreen. Mineral sunscreen has come a long way. That's a physical blocker. It's 100% usually zinc oxide or a titanium dioxide that sits on the surface of the skin.
Right? Correct. Right.
However,
it makes you hot.
If you are playing that active sportswear, it will roll off your skin, right? Where more UV advanced sunscreen that has maybe a chemical filter will penetrate and last longer.
Right.
So me personally, when I'm cycling, I use a UV advanced sunscreen because I want to spray it once and I want to know that I'm good for the day.
Me too. The mineral stuff, it just makes me hot when I'm on the golf course.
Yeah, well, it's come a long way. So we offer the mineral sunscreens, and I have to say our minerals are extraordinary. They're sensational.
Okay, good. I'll try them.
Super lightweight, very, very hydrating.
Awesome.
There's no white cast whatsoever.
Yeah.
In the past, that zinc was very offensive because it was heavy.
Yeah.
But we worked with specialized chemists and labs, and we got the best zinc out there available. So you don't see that white cast.
Right.
So it's a preference. Whatever you're interested in, we offer it. So if you want the all natural, you want the mineral sunscreen, it's there. We have
anti-aging, baby. You can
all
take care of everybody in the family, and no matter what their activity is. Well, you're incredible, and I am so happy that I caught you while you were in town and you were able to come into the studio, because I'm such a huge fan, not just of, you guys, but I do love the products genuinely. And honestly, folks, if you're listening, it is the only thing that I use. It really is. It is the only thing that I use. And when I run out of a bottle, I panic. Like, I have one in my golf bag.
Just ping me. I will say.
No. I want to support you. I've got one in my beach bag. I've got one in my kitchen. I've got one in my bathroom. Seriously, I have that many. There's always one at my fingertips. I really think it's a great product. So kudos to you. Thank you for helping all of us.
Thank you.
Really. It's
so much fun being here.
It's been a gift, I think, for people that are, I don't know, that have a hard time with suntan.
Yeah.
With that want to be in the sun but want to protect themselves. And I'm like a little kid. It's like, oh my God, don't put that on me. It's too sticky. So I have found my product for the rest of my life.
This is going to be a very joyous, wonderful experience. It
really is, folks. It's awesome.
It's really it warms my heart knowing that people are enjoying it and sharing all their testimonials and feedbacks. Really everything true. That you just said.
It's really true, Sal. It's great. So people can find you again at hamptonsun.com. You're on QVC and HSN. And anything else we need to know? Anything exciting you want to share with us before we say goodbye?
Gosh, well, yeah. Look for the new rebrand packaging. Okay. Follow us on hamptonsun.com or on our Instagram, Hampton Sun.
Right.
We'll be making some big announcements.
Good.
So all that is coming forward.
Love it.
If you have any additional questions, you could send a message on our Hampton Sun Instagram, DM us.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep. And
you answer them?
I will make sure I'll answer them.
That's so great, Sal. That's nice.
I'm very hands-on. I'm very involved. I just, I love it. I really love the questions.
You can tell how much you love it.
And I really enjoy what I do. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on today and for supporting Privet Palm Beach and Perfectly Palm Beach. We appreciate it. And I can't wait for this podcast to get out there. So,
me too.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. Thanks so much, folks, for tuning in today. And again, make sure you like all of our own media platforms and subscriptions, and stay tuned for our next podcast, which will be coming in a couple weeks. Bye, everybody.
Please subscribe to our Privet Palm Beach Presents channel on Apple or Spotify to make sure you don't miss an episode, and check out theprivet.com to see the rest of our offerings. Privet Palm Beach Presents is produced by Team Privet, including Summers Laffey, Will Cannon, our friends at Mass Inbound, and music by Kevin MacLeod.